this is Robbie Parker, and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2004 movie, Spider-Man 2. So, in this movie, Peter Parker is going through a major identity crisis. Burned out from being Spider-Man, he decides to shelve his superhero alter ego, which leaves the city suffering in the wake of carnage left by the evil Doc Ock. In the meantime, Peter Parker still can't act on his feelings for Mary Jane Watson, a girl he's loved since childhood. A certain anger begins to brew in his best friend Harry Osborn as well, who is wanting revenge on Spider-Man for the events of the first movie with what happened to Norman Osborn. So this is hands down my favorite superhero movie and comic book movie of all time. It's in my top 10 favorite movies of all time as well. It is just a absolute masterpiece. I love this movie 100%. The story is absolutely great. Peter's arc in this movie is really well written and stuff. I love how his whole journey throughout this movie and stuff, like how he goes from really struggling to balance his life, his personal life, and being Spider-Man, to finally just giving up on being Spider-Man. And as time goes on, he starts questioning whether he should have gave it up or not, and then in the end he finally decides to come back and stuff and everything. And I just love the whole journey that he goes through in this movie and everything, the little bits that get him to go back to being Spider-Man when he accidentally isn't able to save somebody. He saves a kid in a burning building, but he's not able to save someone else and stuff. It really just shows how humane Peter Parker is and stuff and everything. And the line when he's like, "Am I not supposed to have what I want, what I need?" and stuff, and it really just shows the sacrifices that superheroes would have to make and everything. And it just, to me, that's just perfect superhero story and everything. Like the battle within yourself to do the right thing and everything, and just how he has to choose to do what he feels is best for everybody over himself and everything. And I just love how selfless Peter Parker is and everything. Just such a great character. And this movie just continues his journey from the first movie perfectly. Doc Ock is an absolutely amazing villain. Same with Green Goblin. I love that there's like a human side to him and stuff too, and like he redeems himself at the end of the movie. He stops the machine that he's using and stuff, and sacrifices his life to stop his wrongdoings and stuff. I absolutely love that. Like, very awesome, powerful character arc for him, and makes him one of the greatest comic book movie villains of all time. He's both menacing and stuff, but also not so menacing that he's irredeemable either. And he gets a really awesome, amazing redemption arc at the end of the movie. And the returning cast are all great as well too. Kirsten Dunst, James Franco, Rosemary Harris are all once again great as Mary Jane, Harry, and Aunt May. Aunt May has a really awesome speech. I believe there's a hero in all of his speech. Absolutely great. I absolutely love it. And everything is really, really good speech. And everything, it really is motivational and just really, really very, very well written and stuff. And the action scenes are awesome. And here you got the awesome bank scene when Doc Ock comes to rob the bank and everything, and he's fighting Spider-Man and everything, and he kidnaps Aunt May, and Aunt May even gets a little bit in on the action. She hits him with her cane, which is awesome and everything. But that whole scene is awesome. And then the train fight scene is easily, hands down, one of the greatest action scenes, if not the greatest action scene in a superhero movie of all time, and just so freaking cool and everything. And then the just like with the first one, you got New York standing up to help Spider-Man and stuff. Just awesome moment and stuff, which was kind of missing in Spider-Man 3. They had their moments and stuff with New York and Spider-Man and everything. It's still a big character in the third movie, but like you really feel it in these first two movies and everything. And I love like how they see his who he is and stuff, and they agree not to tell who he is and everything because they saved him and stuff. And it's just really, really awesome stuff. Kind of a little overly sentimental, but it's great and everything. I eat overly sentimental stuff up anyway. I'm an overly sentimental dude. Danny Elfman's score is awesome. It's on par with the first movie. Just really, really great music and everything. Great. His score for these Spider-Man movies are absolutely awesome The visual effects hold up really, really well too. Like they use a lot of practical effects, especially on Doc Ock's arms and stuff. They look awesome in this movie. And while the CGI on them in No Way Home didn't look bad whatsoever, they looked really, really great and everything. I will say the practical and stuff looks even better and stuff, and it helps the movie hold up really, really well and everything. There is a little bit of CGI that hasn't aged too well, but like it's not nearly as bad or as noticeable as it was in the first movie. Like in the first one, it didn't even have the worst CGI either. I've seen CGI in movies that are way worse from that time period and stuff, but it doesn't feel like a PS2 version anymore when you see Spider-Man swinging and stuff like that. So I like that too. The humor is also really great in here. There's some really funny moments throughout the movie and stuff. There's also some really quotable lines. One of my favorite things to quote in this movie is saying, "Oh boy, yeah." Especially when if I'm talking to a girl and stuff, I'll just randomly quote this movie on them and they'll be like, "What?" and everything. But also, I love quoting the Spider-Man trilogy when I'm in a relationship with a girl. I love quoting these movies on girls and stuff. But "oh boy, yeah" is one of my favorite things to say to girls and stuff when I'm in a relationship with them and stuff, or if I have a crush on them or whatever. If they say something, and I'm like, "oh boy, yeah." and everything. But I also love like how they adapted the Spider-Man No More storyline. That's a comic that I've read and everything, and I think they did a pretty good job adapting it and stuff. I like how even though J. Jonah Jameson is kind of unlikable, he's also still likable and funny and stuff and everything. Once again, J.K. Simmons is great in that role and everything. And the scene in the special edition where he's dressed up in the Spider-Man suit is so awesome. Now, I got to see Spider-Man 2.1 in the theater and everything the other day, and it was just awesome getting to see that version. I love both versions and everything. I don't think either one of them is the wrong version and everything. I prefer the special edition just because it gives us a little bit more and everything, but I can watch either one of them and be perfectly satisfied and everything. It's just really, really great movie. The special edition doesn't add too much to the story or anything. It adds more a little bit to the action sequences and a few little things that didn't necessarily have to be in the movie, but it just makes it even more fun and everything. So I don't complain at all. It just takes an already awesome, amazing movie and adds a little bit to it, and that's all you can ask for with the special edition and everything. So all in all, I think Spider-Man 2 is hands down one of the greatest movies ever made. It's easily my favorite superhero movie of all time and my favorite Spider-Man movie. I don't think there'll ever be another superhero movie that'll top it for me and everything. It would take a lot, and I think the only way that it could happen is if Sam Raimi were to do another Spider-Man movie and everything. That's really the only way I think that it could happen for me. But I absolutely love this movie and everything. So I give Spider-Man 2 a 10 out of 10. And I highly, highly recommend it if you haven't seen it and everything. It's a masterpiece. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Spider-Man 2, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.